Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you all to the 4th annual Mrs.Shakuntala Roy Memorial Lecture. Before we begin today's program, may I request everyone to kindly stand in the honor of the DAV anthem.
सलिल सदय ज्ञान प्रदायिनी ज्योतिर्मय हो चहु दिशि उद्घोष अभय धीये जय जय धीये जय जय प्रबल प्रवाहमयी नित नूतन जीवन दायिनी सदा सनातन वेद प्रणीता परम पुनीता हे धारा अक्षय धीये जय जय धीये जय जय दयानंद से प्रेम भक्ति ले हंसराज से त्याग शक्ति ले धर्म भक्ति का राष्ट्र शक्ति का हो दिन मान उदय धीये जय जय धीये जय जय सुख समृद्धि इसकी लहरे प्रेम शांति इसके तट ठहरे सघन शांति में प्रबल क्रांति में लिए अटल निश्चय धीये जय जय धीये जय जय.
Thank you. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our chief guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Punjab University, Professor Renu Vig, our special guest, Professor Arun Grover, Professor Emeritus Punjab Engineering College, and our guest of honor, Shri Harjinder Singh Bhatti, Senior Superintendent of Post Office, Chandigarh Division, members of the DAV Managing Committee, and all the other distinguished guests. We have gathered here today to celebrate the exemplary life and contribution of Mrs. Shakuntala Roy to the cause of higher education for women. At the onset of the event, allow me to give you a glimpse of the manifold achievements of our institution. Meherchand Mahajan DAV College for Women was established in 1968 in the memory of Justice Meherchand Mahajan, the 3rd Chief Justice of India and former Prime Minister of Kashmir, for his exemplary contribution in the field of education and nation building. The foundation stone of the college was laid by the then Vice President of India, Dr. V.V. Giri. The college celebrated its historic 50 years, the landmark embossed in golden letters, with the then Honorable President of India, Shri Ram Nath Kovind, visiting the college in February 2018, thereby turning the celebrations into an epoch-making event. The Swarn Jayanti Mahotsav and Ved Sthapana ceremony was held under the mentorship of our worthy President, Shri Poonam Suri Ji, Padma Shri awardee, who has been the source of continuous encouragement and blessings to the institution. The college was re-accredited with grade A by NAC and has been accorded the star status by Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. MCM finds a place of pride in rank band 101 to 150 in the NIRF rankings 2022. Taking a leap forward to promote research and innovation, the college has established an institution's Innovation Council as per the norms of MHRD Government of India, which has 4 stars accorded to it by the Ministry of Education. The institution derives immense pride in sharing its credo of commitment to the cause of Swachhta, which earned it the coveted 1st rank in the National Swachh Campus Ranking 2018 in the residential college category. The college received the Best Management of Wet Waste certification by Municipal Corporation Chandigarh Administration and the 3rd rank in Citizen-led Initiative by Ministry of Home and Urban Affairs in 2019 and the Swachh Prerak Samman by Chandigarh Administration in 2022. The Green Audit Certification, the Best Environment Society in 2021, and the Best Herbal Garden Award received for 2 consecutive years, that is 2022 and 23, speaks volume about the efforts made by the college towards conservation of environment and sustainable development. The college got the Best Red Ribbon Club by Government of India for raising awareness to control HIV/AIDS through rigorous youth engagement. The NSS unit of the college received the Best NSS Unit Award in the years 17-18 and 21-22. The UBS cell of the college received a commendation certificate by NITR Chandigarh for its exemplary services rendered in the field of rural development. The institution is a Mahatma Gandhi National Council of Rural Education, Government of India recognized Swachhta Action Plan institution and sustainable campus. Under the same patronage, it has received recognition for social entrepreneurship, Swachhta and rural engagement, and is also recognized vocational education, Nai Talim experiential learning institution. The council has also appreciated the efforts of the college for carrying out the largest plantation drive in higher educational institutions across Chandigarh. The college is a recognized skill provider on the doorway of National Skill Development Corporation. A breakthrough was achieved when the college became the first institution in the entire northern India to get registered and accredited as a training center under the cover of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. MCM has also introduced BSc Vocational in Retail Management and Diploma in Microbial Analysis and Food Safety under UGC National Skills Qualification Framework. On the global front, the college is registered on the international portal of AICTE, Ministry of Education, Government of India for foreign students seeking opportunities of quality education in India. The college is nominated by the Ministry of Food Processing Industries, Government of India as the only educational institution in Chandigarh for providing training in bakery and food processing under the PMFME scheme. The academic excellence of the college is reflected in its having secured top positions projected in the rankings assessed by reputed periodicals and magazines, both at the national and the regional level. The college has to its credit 156 top 10 positions in Punjab University examinations in the session 21-22. Moving on to the laurels acclaimed at Punjab University Zonal Youth Festival, the college is the winner of 37 first, 41 second and 21 third positions in different events. The institution is the winner of Punjab University Women's General Efficiency Sports Shield 39 times in its existence of 54 years. Our students have won accolades for the college in various sports tournaments at national and international level. We have 3 cricketers in Team India, Harleen Kaur, Tanya Bhatia and Ridhima. Our international sports achievers include Chahat Arora, Palak Vijral, Riya Tokus and Ishita, who have distinguished themselves nationally and internationally. The college has an extremely dedicated and highly competent faculty with research credentials of national and international acclaim. The college pioneered the first Punjab University Research Center for English Literature and Cultural Studies. The highly qualified faculty of the college guides the research work of students who make it to awards at national and international conferences. The college has signed MOUs with reputed institutions and industries to enhance the skills and employability of its students. The college is first in the region to sign an MOU with the Chandigarh Police to promote cybersecurity, human rights, gender sensitization and policing technologies. The placement cell of the college has played an instrumental role in the successful recruitment of hundreds of promising students every year in prestigious corporate houses such as Infosys, Tommy Hilfiger, and many more ranging to more than 200 national and international companies. Our glorious alumni have brought commendations in the field of law, education, social work, media, health sector, international affairs, and many more. To highlight a few, we have alumna Ms. Dilasha Anand, IES, who is the 3rd Secretary Economic in Embassy of India, Washington, D.C., USA. Alumna Ms. Tavishi Kumar became the youngest recipient of Indo-American Leadership Award 2022. MCM student Ms. Purjit Kaur was appointed Security and Safety Services Communications Focal Point in UN Women's Security and Safety Services at United Nations Headquarters in New York. The college receives a generous grant from RUSA for academic and infrastructural development, wherein the team works diligently throughout the year to materialize various productive initiatives such as rainwater harvesting, sewage treatment plant, biogas plant, vermicomposting, oyster mushroom cultivation, ecoenzyme production, and e-waste management. The institution is the first in the region to have installed real-time air quality monitoring system. The practice of the monthly ritual of Havan upholds the Arya Samaj values embedded in the Vedic traditions. The college brings out a number of publications such as Meher Jyoti, IQAC and Rusa newsletter, Urja, and a multidisciplinary peer-reviewed research journal, New Horizons. The college is traversing the path of feathering exceptional strokes and contemporary milestones of academic excellence and professional commitment under the high-powered leadership of the principal of the college, Dr. Nisha Bhargav. Ma'am is a member of Punjab University since 2016 and is a former member of State Legal Services Authority, Chandigarh. She is a NAC assessor under NAC Bangalore and has an experience of over 25 years of teaching and 7 years of administrative work. Her research area is energy economics, and she has 24 research publications and 6 books to her credit. She is also the reviewer of an elsewhere journal, Energy and Buildings. Ma'am has been facilitated at various award functions for her contribution to the field of sustainable development, holistic education, community outreach programs, and gender sensitization. And today, under her able guidance, we are organizing the college's founder principal, Mrs. Shakuntala Roy Memorial Oration Lecture, 4th in the series on the topic Impact of Technology on Society. I now invite my colleague, Dr. Bindu Sharma, for the next segment of the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Disha. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is aptly believed that no grand edifice can survive on a weak foundation. The covetous position that Meher Chand Mahajan DAV College, Chandigarh enjoys in the field of higher education for women today can certainly be attributed to the sturdy foundation laid down by its founder principal, Mrs. Shakuntala Roy. In fact, this college is a glorious manifestation of the dream and vision of Madam Roy, who nurtured it fondly in its infancy with an unmatched diligence, dedication, and devotion. Under her loving care, watchful gaze, and progressive approach, this institution, which is a living tribute to the memory of the noted legal luminary, Justice Meher Chand Mahajan, former Chief Justice of India, blossomed steadily and has, in the last 56 years, carved an enviable place for itself as an eminent center of higher learning across the region. Those of us present here who have had the fortune of knowing Mrs. Roy personally remember her as a remarkable lady of exceptional merit. Endowed with a gentle demeanor, calm temperament, and a sharp intellect, she was indeed a charismatic personality. In fact, her petite frame belied her amazing spirit and mettle. Born on 12th April 1923 in the pre-partitioned India, Mrs. Roy was gifted with a passion for teaching, and she had begun to teach in a girls' school immediately after her matric. Yet very creditably, she continued pursuing higher studies simultaneously. The strength of her character is evident from the fact that even the sudden and untimely demise of her husband and the responsibility of 2 very young children did not deter her from topping the Punjab University in MA Political Science. Mrs. Roy's illustrious career as an academician began from Hansraj Mahila Vishwavidyalaya Jalandhar as a lecturer, but destiny seemed to have some other plans for her. Her administrative acumen, unmatched dynamism, and industriousness made her the obvious choice as the founder principal of newly established Meher Chand Mahajan DAV College, Chandigarh in 1968. With minimal infrastructural, human, and financial resources at her disposal, she set down to build this college literally brick by brick. Undeterred by the seemingly insurmountable challenges, she took pragmatic and bold decisions for the benefit of the learners. Believing that education must be a harmonious blend of Vedic values and modern approach, Mrs. Roy translated the elemental ethos of Arya Samaj into a practical reality. Her dedication to every aspect of the college was exemplary indeed. Leading her staff by example, she kept a personal track of all the activities and achievements of her students. As an administrator, Madam Roy exhibited a rare blend of gentleness and firmness. A motherly figure to one and all, she not only established a lasting personal bond with her colleagues, support staff and students, but also instilled in them an abiding sense of team spirit, institutional pride, and a work culture. These qualities which have been passed on to each member as a legacy and exist till date. Rarely has an administrator in any organization won so much of reverence, warmth, and acclaim from her subordinates as Mrs. Roy did during and even after her tenure. In fact, her absolute commitment to the college inspired every member to contribute his or her best in the institutional growth. Ladies and gentlemen, it is nearly impossible for me to do justice to the innumerable merits of Mrs. Roy in this short span. But for the knowledge of guests, younger members of faculty, and students present here, I would like to share that the lush green campus of the college is her gift to us all, and that the roots of this college have been nurtured by an educationist who was an epitome of grace, dignity, and integrity. She was indeed an embodiment of simplicity, adorned with an impeccable character, quiet fortitude, and a positive attitude. No wonder, therefore, that she left an indelible imprint of her unique personality on every office of eminence and position that she held within the Punjab University or in DAV Managing Committee. Little wonder, therefore, that her achievements and service to the women education were highly recognized and rewarded by the International Biographical Center, Cambridge. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Roy's never say die spirit kept her alive, active despite her failing health till the last day of her life. Though she is no longer with us today, yet she continues to inspire us with her noble ideals. It is heartening to share that the rich legacy left behind by our founder principal and the success story scripted by her has been maintained by all her successors, and the college continues to achieve new milestones even every day under the leadership of Mrs. Nisha Bhargav. I would like to mention here that it is our Honorable Principal's initiative to hold a lecture by an eminent scholar annually as a mark of reverence to Mrs. Roy. Ladies and gentlemen, on this momentous occasion, I'm proud privilege to welcome and introduce our chief guest and keynote speaker, an eminent academician, an erudite researcher, and an administrator of rare merit. She is none other than the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Punjab University, Chandigarh, Professor Dr. Renu Vig. A distinguished alumnus of the university which she is now heading, Professor Vig did her Master's in Engineering from Peck University of Technology in 1992 and pursued her doctorate in the field of artificial intelligence and neural networks from Punjab University in 1997. A gold medal for standing first in BE across all departments in Peck and other affiliated colleges, and a roll of honor for her excellent performance at pre-engineering level in Punjab University bear testimony to Professor Vig's stellar academic record. In her long and illustrious career spanning nearly 4 decades, and before occupying the office of Vice Chancellor of Punjab University in January 2023, our Honorable Chief Guest has served at various positions of responsibility, such as Dean University Instructions, Dean Research, Dean Faculty of Engineering and Technology, and Director of University Institute of Engineering and Technology. Needless to say, she left an ineffaceable impression of her diligence, dynamism, and progressive vision on all these offices. In fact, under her leadership, UIET progressed by leaps and bounds and won a grant worth ₹10 crores from the Ministry of Human Resource Development under a scheme meant for strengthening institutions in improving learning outcomes and employability of graduates. Thereafter, not only was UIET selected as a well-performing institute, but also was gifted an additional grant of ₹5 crore by the MHRD. Similarly, the credit of establishing a Design Innovation Center funded by the central government at Punjab University to promote design and innovation culture among students and faculty also goes entirely to Madam Vig. Ladies and gentlemen, the contribution of our honored guest in the field of research is equally exemplary. Apart from presenting her research studies at various institutions of global eminence, including the Imperial College London, Madam has published more than 200 research papers in reputed SCI and Scopus Index journals, some of which have won her wide acclaim. Her research paper on fuzzy modeling for ignition turning control won her the N.K. Iyengar Memorial Prize, while another on fuzzy diagnostic system for coronary artery disease was awarded the Corps of Engineers Prize. Equally creditable is Madam's contribution to research projects, especially the one undertaken at Infosys Technologies Limited, which won her immense appreciation from its Vice President and Head Department of Education and Research, Dr. N.P. Ravindra. Professor Vig's love for academics and research is also evident from the fact that she has guided 10 PhDs in various areas of her expertise and is currently supervising 6 PhD scholars. It is hardly surprising, therefore, that to benefit from her vast research and erudition, Madam has been invited by many prestigious global institutions such as the University of Cambridge, Nottinghamshire, Birmingham, and the University of Singapore, to name a few. Even within the local academic circles, Madam is highly respected for her unmatched commitment, exceptional academic record, and astute administrative skills. Madam, we feel extremely elated and privileged to have an achiever of your stature amongst us today. It seems all the more befitting that the lecture in the fond memory of Mrs.Shakuntala Roy be delivered by a lady who too has made a mark for herself by the dint of her diligence, dedication, and excellence. Madam, on behalf of the entire college, I extend a cordial welcome to you. I would also like to take this opportunity to greet our guest of honor, Shri Harjinder Singh Bhatti, Senior Superintendent of Post Office, Chandigarh Division. And I would also like to greet Justice Preetham Pal, Honorable Vice President, DAV College Managing Committee, Shri H.R. Gandharji, Honorable Vice President, DAV College Managing Committee, and Dr. Gurdeep Sharma, General Secretary, SD College Managing Committee, Hoshiarpur, and Senior Senate and Syndicate Member, Punjab University, Chandigarh. Friends, it gives me immense pleasure to share that we have Madam Roy's blessings in the form of her children and grandchildren who have elated us with their gracious presence. I would like to accord a very warm welcome to Roy Ma'am's daughter and son-in-law, Mrs. Manju Gosai and Major General P.K. Gosai, her son and daughter-in-law, Mr. Pradeep Roy and Mrs. Madhu Roy, who have joined us from the US. I would also welcome her grandsons, Mr. Uday Gosai and his wife, Mrs. Shweta Gosai, also from US, along with Mr. Amit Gosai and his better half, Mrs. Aditi from Mumbai. We are delighted to have amongst us Professor Arun Kumar Grover and Madam Neera Grover, Professor Yashpal Ji, Ms. Aprajita Sharma, Ms. Urvashi Gulati, and Dr. B.S.N. Walia, former Director PGI, Mrs. Madhu Kaul, and Mr. Kuldeep Kaul. May I also accord a very warm welcome to our beloved Mrs. Sneh Mahajan, former Principal of our college, Professor Manjeet Kaur and Professor Pratibha Nagpal from Punjab University. It gives me immense pleasure to greet our respected senior colleagues, Mrs. Shashi Nanda, Madam Dhamija, Mrs. Anusuya Sharma, Mrs. Usha Gupta, Mrs. Sudarshan Agarwal, Mrs. Madhu Sareen, Mrs. Chandrakiran, Mrs. Shobha Chopra, Mrs. Alka Kansra, and others who have shaped the destiny of this institution with Madam Roy and have very graciously accepted our invite to be us on this special day. On behalf of the entire college, I extend a very hearty welcome to you all. Kindly accept my sincere apologies if I have missed any names. I would also like to inform the august gathering here that those of our guests who have not been able to come today shall be joining us virtually, as the program is being streamed live on our institutional YouTube channel by the faculty and students of mass communication. May I now request Madam Principal Dr. Nisha Bhargav to kindly come up on the stage and greet our distinguished guests. Madam Bhargav, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bindu, for this emotional speech, and thank you, Dr. Disha, for this beautiful presentation of the college. Professor Renu Vig, हमारे आज के मुख्य अतिथि, प्रोफेसर अरुण ग्रोवर जी, प्रोफेसर एमेरिटस टेक, श्री एच.आर. गंधार, ऑनरेबल वाइस प्रेसिडेंट, DAV College Managing Committee and a senior member of College Governing Body, Principal Mrs. Sneh Mahajan, the family members of Mrs. Roy, Mrs. Manju Gosai, Major General P.K. Gosai, Mr. Pradeep Roy, Mrs. Madhu Roy, distinguished guests, faculty members and very dear students, मैं आपका यहाँ आज श्रीमती शकुंतला रॉय की स्मृति में करवाए जा रहे इस समारोह में बहुत बहुत स्वागत करती हूँ। श्रीमती शकुंतला रॉय एक विलक्षण महिला थी। डॉक्टर बिंदु ने बहुत अच्छी तरह से उनके व्यक्तित्व के बारे में हमें बताया है, और जो स्टाफ मेंबर जैसे उनका नाम लेते हैं, जैसे उनके साथ अपने अनुभव बताते हैं, उससे पता चल सकता है कि उन्होंने कितने हृदय से और आत्मा से इस संस्था को अपनाया। इतना ही नहीं, उस समय जब लड़कियों को बहुत कम पढ़ाते थे, वो उन्होंने 10th के बाद उनकी शादी हो गई और उसके बाद उन्होंने खुद बाद में शादी के बाद उन्होंने पढ़ाई जारी रखी और इस कॉलेज को उन्होंने ज्वाइन किया और इस संस्था को उत्कृष्टता की बुलंदियों तक लेकर वो इसको गई। तो आज उन्होंने जो एक छोटा सा पौधा लगाया था, ये उन्होंने DAV स्कूल सेक्टर 15 के 4 कमरों में ये कॉलेज शुरू किया था और आज ये एक बड़ा वट वृक्ष बन चुका है। और आप देखिए कि पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी का सबसे बड़ा महिला कॉलेज है। हमारे कॉलेज में लगभग 5000 विद्यार्थी पढ़ते हैं और 300 से भी ज़्यादा स्टाफ मेंबर्स हैं। और ये संस्था, मैं जिन लोगों को नहीं पता है उनको ये बताना चाहूँगी, जस्टिस मेहरचंद महाजन जो भारत के 3य मुख्य न्यायाधीश थे, उनकी स्मृति में 1968 में स्थापित की गई थी। जस्टिस मेहरचंद महाजन जो थे वो जम्मू कश्मीर के प्रधानमंत्री थे और उसके अलावा वो और भी बहुत सारी संस्थाओं में थे। DAV मैनेजिंग कमेटी के वो प्रधान भी रहे, पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी सेनेट सिंडिकेट के मेंबर थे। 1968 में जब वो पंचतत्व में विलीन हुए तो चंडीगढ़ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने ये निश्चय किया कि उनकी स्मृति में एक लड़कियों का कॉलेज बनाया जाएगा और DAV कॉलेज मैनेजिंग कमेटी ने ये जिम्मेदारी ली इस संस्था को स्थापित करने की। तो उनके नाम के साथ ये कॉलेज जुड़ा हुआ है और आज मुझे ये बताते हुए प्रसन्नता भी हो रही है और गर्व का भी अनुभव हो रहा है कि उनकी सुपुत्री प्रिंसिपल स्नेह महाजन, जो कि कॉलेज की 2य प्रिंसिपल थी, वो भी आज यहाँ हमारे साथ उपस्थित हैं। मैम, हम आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत करते हैं। और जस्टिस मेहरचंद महाजन जी का जो राष्ट्र निर्माण में, जो राष्ट्रीय एकीकरण में, जो महिला शिक्षा में उनका योगदान था, उसको हम नमन करते हैं। और ये बात मैं एक और आपको बताना चाहती हूँ आज कि कोई भी जो संस्था होती है वो उतनी ही बड़ी होती है जितने कि उसके जो स्टेक होल्डर्स होते हैं या उसके जो संस्थापक होते हैं, उसके जो एंसेस्टर्स होते हैं, उनका जो विज़न और मिशन होता है। तो इतने बड़े विज़न और मिशन को लेकर ये लोग चले थे और इतनी बड़ी संस्था का निर्माण हो पाया। एक और बात मैं यहाँ शेयर करना चाहूँगी कि 1968 में कॉलेज का जो फाउंडेशन स्टोन था वो महात्मा अनंत स्वामी जी सरस्वती ने रखा था कॉलेज में, और पूरे 50 साल बाद हिज इलस्ट्रियस ग्रैंडसन डॉक्टर पूनम सूरी जी, पद्मश्री अवॉर्डी, हु इज़ आवर ऑनरेबल प्रेसिडेंट, उन्होंने इस बिल्डिंग का फाउंडेशन स्टोन रखा। और ये बिल्डिंग जो है हमारा गोल्डन जुबली हॉल है, क्योंकि 2018 जब राष्ट्रपति जी यहाँ पर आए थे तो वो हमारा गोल्डन जुबली ईयर था, और उस समय उन्होंने ये फाउंडेशन स्टोन रखा। और ये हॉल, इसमें 2 बिल्डिंग्स हैं एक्चुअली, ये एक ऑडिटोरियम है और इसके साथ एक हमारा ऑफिस ब्लॉक है, और ये पहला इस तरह का फंक्शन हम इसमें कर रहे हैं। और आप देखिए कि संस्था की जितनी भी अचीवमेंट्स हैं वो आपने देख ली हैं प्रेजेंटेशन के द्वारा। हमारे लिए ये बहुत ही सौभाग्य की बात है कि प्रोफेसर रेनू विग के स्टेचर के साइंटिस्ट हमारे पास आए हैं आज इस लेक्चर को देने के लिए। तो मैं यहाँ ये भी बताना चाहती हूँ कि सबसे पहला जो लेक्चर था वो प्रोफेसर अरुण ग्रोवर जी ने दिया था, और उन्हीं के दिशा निर्देशन में और सहयोग में ये लेक्चर जो है कंटिन्यू हो रहा है। और इसके अलावा प्रोफेसर ग्रोवर का भी मैं बहुत बहुत यहाँ पर स्वागत करती हूँ, क्योंकि उनका हमें दिशा निर्देशन में और इस संस्था को ऊपर ले जाने में बहुत बड़ा योगदान है। मिसेस रॉय का परिवार यहाँ पर आया हुआ है, उनको मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करती हूँ कि उन्होंने आज के दिन यहाँ पर आकर उनकी स्मृतियों को ताज़ा किया। डॉक्टर पूनम सूरी जी हमारे प्रधान हैं, पद्मश्री अवॉर्डी हैं, उनका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। उनके दिशा निर्देश में 1000 से भी ज़्यादा डीएवी संस्थाएं देश भर में बढ़ चढ़कर वो उन्नति कर रही हैं। हमारे ऑनरेबल वाइस प्रेसिडेंट श्री HR गंधार यहाँ पर उपस्थित हैं। सर का इतना ज़्यादा आशीर्वाद है हमें, इतना ज़्यादा उनका दिशा निर्देशन है कि हम उनको हर इवेंट पर, कोई भी इवेंट होती है तो उनको हम गाइडेंस लेते हैं उनसे, और उनकी गाइडेंस का भी रिजल्ट है कि ये संस्था इतनी उसकी प्रगति हुई है। सर आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और टीम MCM के सहयोग के बिना कुछ भी संभव नहीं है। इस अवसर पर मैं ये बताना चाहती हूँ कि संस्था की उपलब्धियों में टीम MCM का बहुत बड़ा हाथ है, और आज की जो टीम है जिन्होंने इस कार्यक्रम को आयोजित किया है उनका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद है और स्वागत है। और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि हमारे बड़ों के आशीर्वाद से और स्टाफ सदस्यों के निरंतर प्रयासों से हमारी संस्था इसी प्रकार लगातार आगे बढ़ती रहेगी। एक बार फिर मैं आप सबका हार्दिक स्वागत करती हूँ और ईश्वर से प्रार्थना करती हूँ कि श्रीमती रॉय की मधुर स्मृति सदा हमारे मन में बनी रहे और उनकी जीवन यात्रा से हम सभी प्रेरणा लेते रहें। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Thank you very much, ma'am. I now take this opportunity to introduce you all to our special guest for the event, Professor Arun Kumar Grover, a Professor Emeritus at PEC, Chandigarh. Sir is the recipient of Homi Bhabha Science and Technology Award of BARC in 1995 for his contribution in magnetism and superconductivity. Elected as Fellow of NASI as well as that of IASC, he served as the Vice President of latter from 2016 to 2018. An initiative commenced in 2012 by him, which caught the national attention, has been the nucleation of Chandigarh Region Innovation and Knowledge Cluster, which brought together all the institutions in and around Chandigarh on a common platform. He currently serves as chairperson of the Research Council of CSIR, National Physical Laboratory New Delhi, chair of the Review and Advisory Committee of Delhi Research, Innovation and Implementation, a cluster promoted by IIT Delhi, and vice president of the NGO, Society for Promotion of Science and Technology in India. Sir, thank you for gracing the occasion, and I now request Professor Grover to kindly come up on the stage for the introductory address to today's event. Thank you, sir.
Principal H.R. Gandhar, the Vice President of the DAE Managing Committee, Principal Nisha Bhargavji, Manju and Prem, Pradeep Roy, staff, students and alumni of this college, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today is indeed a very emotional day for me for two reasons. Just 2 hours ago, I was at SD College where I spoke on Ruchi Ramsani. Knowing Ruchi Ramsani has been a turning point in my life. I wouldn't have been a Vice Chancellor of this university if I had not come to know Ruchi Ramsani during the birth centenary year of Homi Bhabha. Coincidentally, birth centenary year of Homi Bhabha is also the year when Principal Shakuntala Roy passed away, October of 2009. Having known her and Pradeep Roy, her son, as a schoolmate in War Memorial Higher Secondary School in Meerut, also has been the first turning point in my life. She stayed in Meerut for less than a year. Her son was my classmate also for less than a year. But lo and behold, at the end of higher secondary exam, I wanted to pursue a career in science. The luck would have it that I had got the National Science Talent Search examination, and I had a scholarship which allowed me to pursue a career in science at college, university and post-university level in chosen institutes in India. And in the list of chosen institutes was only the government college at Chandigarh. I had come to government college and I had visited Assistant Registrar's office and the physics department chair in Punjab University, and the government college principal could not assure me a hostel seat. And accidentally I met the vice principal of DAV College Jalandhar, and he said, Principal Bell will take care of all my issues and I should choose to study at DAV College Jalandhar. And Pradeep Roy Goli, my schoolmate, had visited his grandparents in Meerut after writing the higher secondary exam, and he had told me in passing that he is going to join DAV Jalandhar for pre-engineering. So I said, okay, at least I'll meet someone. I had never been to Punjab earlier than that. And this is how I went and joined DAV College Jalandhar. And after a year, I came and I arrived in Chandigarh city on 31st of May 1968, the day the foundation stone of this college was laid. And I had met Manju only at that time. She may not remember because she was studying in Lady Irwin College, and I still remember that evening. Sneh Mahajanji was there, Dr. B.L. Talwar was there at Sector 15 house of Mrs. Roy when I arrived there, and lots of things happened. Manju took a decision during that evening only that she will enroll for Home Science College for her MSc at the instigation of Dr. B.L. Talwar. I don't know whether she remembers, but I do remember. Anyway, long story short, I graduated, I had gone away. Goli, Pradeep Roy had, after doing engineering from PEC, he had left for US. I couldn't come for Manju's wedding, but I received her in Bombay on her way to Pune, and I had put her in the train to reach Pune, and I think Prem remembers it. Anyway, I stayed at Tata Institute of Fundamental Research for 40 years. I had done PhD there, and then I was a postdoc at Imperial College in from 80 to 82, and Mrs. Roy was a part of a DAV institution's delegation to London, the first such delegation sent by DAV Managing Committee to London, and I received all of them at the airport, including Principal Bell at that time. So I kept in touch with her all through. She retired, we had got married. I met my wife in her residence, which is a guest house of this thing. I have many memories of that, but today is not an occasion. We are all here to listen to lecture by Professor Renu Vig, my colleague from UIT. And Renu, you will remember that when I came to join as a Vice Chancellor and I met her for the first time, I told her that her college, UIT, was listed amongst the top engineering colleges of the country in the India Today magazine. She had not seen that. so anyway, we have all learned how great an educationist, a technologist she has been all through her life. Today she is a Vice Chancellor of Punjab University. Her batchmate, Mr. Dharampal, is the advisor to the administrator. Her another classmate is the Chief Secretary of Punjab. So one batch of Punjab Engineering College cannot give a larger number of distinguished graduates from a batch. So I'm very happy that I am part of today's event. This lecture, as Nishaji told us, was commenced after I superannuated from Punjab University as a VC, and the family wanted to do something, and I was asked to deliver the first oration. Then I had told Nishaji, if this event runs for 5 years in a row, it will run forever, because by that time it will build a reputation. The college will also have a stake in a distinguished person visiting the college every year. So if I gave the first lecture, the second lecture was given by none other than Professor Jagatram, the director of PGI. The third lecture was given, that was 19 I gave, 20 was the pandemic, we had to miss it. 21 we had an online lecture by Professor Jagatram in February of 21. 22 May of 2022 we had Professor Alan Furr, who came from Auburn University and delivered this lecture. And Nishaji had said the next lecture will be in the new hall. So here we are in the new hall, and I said, okay, next lecture, we had planned it in 21 itself. Okay, in 2023 would be the centenary of Mrs. Roy, and we should have a stamp done in her honor. So Ruchiram Sani is the first person in whose honor I had initiated a stamp release on behalf of Punjab University commemorating 150 years of Ruchiram Sani, coinciding with 150 years of higher education in Punjab. Okay, so that was the occasion. The second stamp was released, centenary of Balwant Gargi, and all of you know Balwant Gargi. Okay, and the third stamp which I had initiated was in honor of the longest serving Vice Chancellor of Punjab University, Professor R.C. Paul. And Madhuji is here with us. Okay, and then this is the fourth stamp of which I have got associated in her honor, and there is going to be one more stamp this year, and that is the birth centenary of Professor H.S. Hans, who was the head of the Department of Physics when I enrolled in Punjab University as a BSc Honours School student. So I said today is a very emotional day. This year is also a bit emotive for me because I am a part of so many initiatives which I think are enriching the academic and cultural life of the city. And I want to just share with Nishaji that we have recently created a forum of retired vice chancellors and directors of our region. So there we already are more than 10 in number, and you will never be short of speakers to give the annual oration of this thing. So let me conclude here by greeting all of you and thanking all of you for turning up for Professor Renu Vig's lecture. So thank you all, and thank you, Professor Vig, for consent to deliver today's lecture.
Thank you, sir, for sharing a slice of your life and taking us down the memory lane. I now call upon our chief guest, Professor Renu Vig, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Punjab University, to kindly deliver the keynote address on the impact of technology on society. I would request Mrs. Suman Mahajan, Registrar of the College, to kindly escort ma'am. Thank you.
Principal, MCMDAV College, Nisha Bhargav, Professor Grover, ex-Vice Chancellor, Punjab University, Chandigarh, other dignitaries in the audience, family members of Mrs. Roy, and I can see a few alumni of the college in the audience, faculty and students. Very good afternoon to all of you. When Professor Prof was mentioning that the advisor and chief secretary are my class fellows, I just want to share with you that son of Mrs. Sneha Mahajan, Sanjay Gupta, is also my class fellow. And last time he was here, we all had a dinner together. And just before the lecture, she asked me that, do you know Sanjay Gupta? I said, yes, I know him. And I don't want to share the mischiefs that we used to do when we were students, but we had a great time in Punjab Engineering College. And when Mrs. Nisha Bhargav asked me to give this lecture, I said, I'll talk about the impact of technology on society. So when I was your age, you know, I was studying in Government College for Girls in Sector 11, and I used to go to my college on a cycle, and most of the girls, I think, came on cycles only. In those days, the students didn't have two-wheeler or four-wheelers, and there was no television in my home, and there was no telephone also in my home. So I was in Government College for Girls from 1979 to 81. I did my prep and pre-engineering from Government College for Girls. At that time, you did 11th and 12th in the college, but not in the school. So I think it was in late 70s that we got televisions in our homes. And only channel used to be Doordarshan. And telephones, landline phones, we had to book for a telephone, and I think we got our first landline phone in 86 or 87 at home. And we have to call a person in another city, then you need to know the STD code, and you have to have a STD connection to make calls between two cities, and making an international call was a Herculean task. You had to book a trunk call through Sector 74 office, and the line was always noisy. So I was, Mr. Sam Petroda came to Punjab University once, and he was involved in evolution of digital switching technologies in USA, and he said while he was in India in early 80s, his wife was in Chicago, and he says if he had to talk to his wife, it became a big task. He had to book a call, and the line would not get through, and the line would be so noisy that he was not able to talked to his wife, and he said that he thought that he was going to fix this telephone problem of India. So when he said he is going to fix the telephone problem of India, he was told, you know, that India has so many other important issues. There is water problem, there is electricity problem. So why do you want to fix the telephone problem? You know, the other problems have higher priority. So, but I don't know how to fix the water problem, how to fix the electricity problem, but I know how this telephone problem can be fixed, so I'm going to fix that. One problem was that we were importing telephone exchanges which were designed for developed nations and good for urban India, but then rural India, the population density is less and rural India is also scattered, so there was no exchange for rural India. So then treaty was set up and India manufactured exchange that could connect rural India. But then, you know, everything changed. From wired communication, we shifted to wireless communication. So technology has one thing, that it is continuously evolving, and change is the only constant so far as technology is concerned. So we had this wireless communication, and once we had wireless communication, then everything changed, you know. Like I was talking about television, we had only Doordarshan, but then we had this, when we had Doordarshan, we used to have such big Yagi array at the top of every house with a dipole and 6 antennas, and you know, such every house had a Yagi array to receive Doordarshan. Then we had Tata Sky, we had dish antenna, and we had so many channels, Sony TV, Zee TV, this, that, and so many programs. But again, the timings were fixed. And now we have these Fire Sticks which we connect to our televisions, and we connect to Wi-Fi, and we have so many platforms, so we can watch anything, anytime. So that is the flexibility this wireless communication has given us. So with wireless communication, we also had these, you know, while we had this wireless communication, in between we were also connected to internet. We had this digital revolution. We had computers in colleges, in schools, in industry, and internet connectivity was also there. So while I was doing my PhD, we used to write letters to researchers, send the research material by post, and then, you know, now everything is available on a server. You just need access to that server, and you can download anything you want to. So this internet connectivity, everything changed the way we live. And it not only had an impact on the way we live, it also had impact on the way industry was manufacturing. Revolution, the source of energy was water and steam. Then we had second industrial revolution, where we had electricity, the internal combustion engine, and production lines, so productivity increased. Then we had this digital revolution, computers, internet, sensors, and we had third industrial revolution, where the processes were automated, and now we are talking about Industry 4.0. So under G20 celebration, one of the themes is Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is again continuing with what changes digital revolution brought computers and internet. But now we have techniques where we can collect data using sensors from anywhere. We can maintain this large data on cloud. We can analyze this data using machine learning, using artificial intelligence, using big data techniques, and the machines can give us some smart solutions for problems. And you already know that we are using now robots for surgery, and we use drones for many applications like surveillance, for even taking images. You might have seen, now we use drones for taking images in functions, in marriages. So drones would be just flying over and taking images from all angles. Although the resolution is not that good, but a drone above our head can take images from so many different angles. And we can just edit these images, do a lot of things by editing and by manipulating these images. So we have these artificial intelligence techniques where we are trying to embed some form of intelligence in the machines. One of the techniques is neural networks, where we try to teach pattern recognition to the systems. The that they do processing at a very fast speed, but then we have a single processor which is executing instructions at a time. Also, we have dual core, quad core systems, and we have to build pipelines systems, multiple in time. Still, the instructions are executed. So the mechanism is the computer is going to, we will write programs, the user will write a program to do something, that program will be saved in the memory. We will be fetching that program, which is basically a collection of one by one from the memory, and execute those instructions. Now, the speed at which the computer is executing the instruction is much faster than the speed at which it is fetching instructions from the memory. Memories are slower. So then, the researchers try to increase the speed by doing multiple things at a time. So computer would be fetching one instruction from the memory, it would be decoding another, it would be executing another. It is not waiting to fetch the instructions. Line one, say the instruction fetched from the memory, which is already fetched is being executed. So it is things it does. Then this that we have been able to achieve with computer is much less than the parallelism that we have in the brain. If we talk about the brain of billions of having trillions of connections, extensive parallelism in the brain, that parallelism. That is a 1-year-old child would learn to speak, would learn to talk. So he can recognize the objects on the way, he learns to avoid those objects while he is walking, and the language the parents are using to talk to him, he will learn that language because of the massive parallelism that is there in the brain. So if a child is going to a crèche, I know my friends are in Germany, so they are taking their child in a crèche. So the child at the age of 2, he could talk in German language, he could talk in English, he could talk in Hindi. So he knew 3 languages. And if you have to teach a computer a language, it is very tough. If you have to teach a computer to walk, it is very tough. And the reason is the amount of parallelism that is there in the brain. No machine can match that. So to illustrate that, the researchers have come up with this concept of neural networks, where they have tried to simulate the model of human brain. And we have artificial neurons, which we can train to memorize patterns. Human brain not only recognizes patterns, it can also associate one pattern with the another. Say you meet your friend after 20 years, you know. You would remember his or her face. His or her face would have changed in 20 years. Still you will remember. You will remember his or her face. And you will not only remember his or her face, you will be able to maybe recall his or her name also by looking at his face. So you are able to recall the association of the name with the face. And say you are watching a movie, so you will recall the movie, you will recall the characters of the movie, maybe you will recall the songs that were in the movie. So human brain has characteristics that it analyzes associations between patterns, and it is fault tolerant. If the pattern is slightly different from the pattern that the brain knows, even it will recall the pattern. So it is fault tolerant, it is able to analyze, and it is able to overcome any noise or any fault there in the pattern. So they build these neural networks which are neural networks and also memory patterns, and they are fault tolerant. So if the pattern is noisy, even then the neural network will recall the correct pattern. So the applications of these networks are enormous. Not only they were used for pattern recognition, they were also used to convert speech to text. So input pattern is a speech pattern, and the network will generate a text pattern. Input pattern is a text pattern, the output will be a speech pattern. Both things it can do. And you might have read that vehicles have been developed which can drive on its own. So those vehicles also have cameras. So using the cameras, the images on the road, basically the traffic on the road, the patterns for the traffic on the road, they are captured. The neural networks are trained to recognize those patterns and accordingly, steer the vehicle, change the direction of the vehicle according to the traffic pattern on the road. So these vehicles, they are using neural networks which basically memorize the traffic patterns on the road, and once they are trained, when the vehicle is on the road, they get the new pattern to recognize how the traffic is arranged on the road. Accordingly, the vehicle can take a decision to move slightly towards left or right and drive the vehicle. So such things, have been done by training the neural networks to recognize the patterns, and now we are hearing about these generative AI techniques, chat GPT. So that is again, a AI technique where we are generating patterns which are related or associated. So you give an input pattern and associated patterns or related patterns, they are the output. The platform has been trained using large amount of patterns and it is able to generate patterns. So now we are embedding intelligence in the machines. That is just one technique. There are many other techniques which we can embed intelligence in machines. And Gary, he lost his game to an IBM machine. He says he was disappointed because he had lost to a machine. And he could, never reconcile to this fact that how he could lose to a machine. And earlier it was said that he lost because he didn't play well. So he was not alert while he was playing the game. That's how the machine won. But gradually he says even he accepted And he tried this, that when he tried with the help of machine, he could play better. Even amateurs who learn to play chess using computers, they are able to beat professionals. So gradually he also realized that, you know, if man and machine work together, some great results can be achieved. So in industry, you know, when we talk about industry 4.0, this is the theory that we have to make processes intelligent, and we have to automate the processes, and we have to use AI techniques to have intelligent processes, and we have to have intelligent machines or devices also. So we are already talking about a car, you know, where when if I have to drive a car, I will sit in the car, I will tell the car start, and the car will tell the car I have to go to Punjab University. It will take it will be, you know, trained to memorize the direction from traveling from my home to university, and it should be able to drive on its own. And when I reach somewhere, I say park, then car should be able to find a slot which is vacant so that it can park itself. So, about such, and I'm sure in future we are going to have such things. And when I say that, you know, I will sit in the car and say start, then that also means that the car memorizes my voice. So if somebody else sit in the car and say start, it should not start. So that means, you know, even stealing the car would be difficult, because we train the car to memorize the voice of the owner. So if that happens, that's, you know, another step forward. So we talk about all these changes, intelligent processes, intelligent machines, but then, you know, there is this fear also that what human beings will do. If everything will be done by machines, then what will we do? But then we must not forget that creativity is with us, intelligence is with us, common sense is with us. The machines, they will be as intelligent as we make them. I can share with you a real life example. You know, I was driving my car. If I don't tie the seat belt, then my smart car, if I don't tie the seat belt, it gives a big sound that the seat belt is not tied. So I had done a lot of grocery shopping, and some heavy things were lying on the passenger seat. And while I was driving the car, that beep sound continued to come, and it is very irritating. So I was thinking, my seat belt is on, so why this is giving this sound? And then I realized it is because of the weight on the passenger seat. So it is giving this sound because, you know, heavy groceries were lying on the passenger seat, and it was sensing the weight on the passenger seat. I stopped the car and tied the seat, and that sound stopped. So we should not be afraid of this thing that, you know, these processes, intelligent devices going to replace human beings. But then this set is definitely change that is required to be viable, because we need good manpower can handle these devices, or who can build these devices, or who can maintain these devices. But in all this, you know, technology changing, all this, you know, one that does not change is the humanity, the human values that we have. That is important, you know, that we don't become slaves to technology. What is happening is that many youngsters, I would say, we are addicted to technologies. You will see in a family having 3 or 4 family members sitting in a home, everybody would be on a different device. One would be hooked to television, the other would be hooked to, the other would be hooked to a Facebook, today's world. So, living in that kind of world, we are connected across, but we are not connected to each other. So that must happen. We must be connected, and if we have to work in teams, whether you are a student, you are a professional, again, but there is a lot to be desired. And if we want to achieve something, then we have to work in teams. So interpersonal skills are very important, and to listen to the viewpoint of other, we have to have that kind of patience. And there can be difference of opinion, but we should know how to overcome this, to arrive at consensus, to do things in a better way. And hopefully, in times to come, we will be seeing more and more devices and more intelligent systems, and way we will continue to change as we grow. But we must keep our values intact, and we must not become slaves of the technology. We must be the master of the technology. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insights on how technology is shaping the society. And very befittingly, it has been said that technology is a useful servant, but a dangerous master. Ma'am, I would request you to kindly stay back, and I would request Professor Arun Grover, Shri Harjinder Singh Bhatti, Mrs. Manju Gosai, Major General P.K. Gosai, Mr. Pradeep Roy, Shri H.R. Gandhar, Justice Preetham Pal, Principal Sneh Mahajan ma'am, Dr. Gurdeep Sharma, and our Principal Dr. Nisha Bhargav to kindly come up on the stage and join our Chief Guest for the release of the special cover in the honor and memory of Mrs. Shakuntala Roy. Thank you. The Department of Post, Ministry of Communication, Government of India has facilitated the issue and release of a special cover to commemorate the birth centenary year of Mrs. Shakuntala Roy and also to celebrate her matchless contribution to the field of higher education for women. It is our proud privilege to be hosting the release of this commemorative cover in the premises of this college that she reared like a baby. A huge round of applause, everyone, please. Thank you. Thank you to all the esteemed guests. And I now request Madam Principal to kindly offer a token of regard to our distinguished guests. I would request all the guests to please stay on stage. We would begin by honoring Professor Renu Vig, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Punjab University, Chandigarh. Next, we present a token of our gratitude to Professor Grover, Professor Emeritus at Tech Chandigarh. Thank you, sir. Next we have with us Shri Harjinder Singh Bhatti, Senior Superintendent at the Post Office, Chandigarh Division. Thank you, sir. Now I call upon Mrs. Manju Gosai and Major General P.K. Gosai to accept the token of our gratitude. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And now we have Mr. Pradeep Roy with us to accept our token of gratitude. Thank you. And our very own Principal Sneh Mahajan, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you to all the guests. I would request Shri H.R. Gandhar to kindly stay back on the stage and pay a tribute to Mrs. Roy. Sir, please.
Respected, honored guests, Madam Principal, faculty members and students. Indeed, it is a moment you can relish, you can cherish also, because I have been colleague of Mrs. Roy, because I happened to be the principal for 5 years along with her. Meeting her, knowing her, a frail body with a firm mind, bold and daring, converting adversity into opportunities throughout our life, throughout her life. She was facing difficulties, but overcoming it gracefully. So I admire and esteem Mrs. Roy, whom I considered her as an elder sister. She was not an ordinary lady, because the intrepid type of care she had been, the tender care she had been doing, she had been nurturing the institution without caring for our health also. So whatever has come, it was our vision, her devotion and dedication, commitment. And DAV always has been recognizing her services. When she was sick, I, along with Dr. Poonam Suri, who is our present president, he was secretary then, visited twice to Meerut when she was not keeping good health, but she was confident that the worst will be over. So that was the spirit with which she was leading her life. The activism in her was, the intellectual quest in her was unparalleled. Very simple. I still can recollect her face, diminutive in size, small, frail, but always smiling. This is what the outcome has come because of her devotion. In the earlier years, there not used to be a table or chair in the principal office. No fan, all around, moving around under sheds. So that was the spirit our predecessors our predecessors, those who have done such an unprecedented contribution, that is, we are enjoying the fruits. See around the affluence, see around good buildings, but to grow with gracefully, she was, I can say with confidence as I believe, that the type of grace and goodness she was carrying as a person, helpful, and without losing the human grace, that would add rather extra dimension to her personality, to add compassion to perception. She was a wonderful lady, and I commend the work done by the college in maintaining the spirit of holding such seminars, the fourth in series and fifth, and then so that we bow to her memory, we recognize our services, and also I would little bit add this is question. The Honorable Vice Chancellor shared with you the impact of technology. The later part was the indicative technology, the digital slavery, the one Neer Ayal, the book is Hooked. The name of the book is Hooked, telling about the pornography, telling about exotic journeys, fantasy, all these things where you are hooked. So you should not become digital slaves, and we all feel worried because we are consumers and importers. All this technology which we are talking about is, we are the best standard benchmark to institutions. I would say Bhabha Institute and space exploration. These are the two standards in the world we are leading in. But in this technology, we are importers and consumers. At the same time, perhaps we shouldn't forget that we are not using the technology. This technology is using us. We are afraid we may not be submitted to recolonization. Recolonization under the dominance of US and China. Whatever has been told to you, the creative mind, we must contribute to bring the best in us, not as something merely servers or users. So this is a challenge to you, such awakening and such a wonderful lecture, and in the memory of a very eminent lady who contributed our life, gave so much to DAV, and DAV recognizes services. I bow and DAV along with the DAVians to her memory. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Before we move on, I would like to share that Mrs. Shakuntala would also like to felicitate our distinguished guests on this occasion, and I would request you on us, please. Thank you. A round of applause, please. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. I now call upon stage Mrs. Manju Gusai to say a few words in the memory of Mrs. Roy.
On behalf of the Roy family, I would like to thank Principal Nisha Bhargav for organizing this function to celebrate the centenary year of Mrs. Shakuntala Roy, the founder principal of MCM DAV College. They have all said so much about my mother that I really don't need to go into all that. And like Nisha has been so cooperative, and she gives us full respect to our mother. And she's been organizing Mrs. Shakuntala Roy memorial lectures, as you all know, since 4 years now. In fact, COVID came, so we couldn't do it, but she did one or two virtual also, I think. And we would like to thank Professor Arun Grover, Professor Emeritus PEC Chandigarh. Actually, he is like a brother to me. बहुत कुछ है वो, but he is for others like that. But मेरे लिए तो वो भाई है. And he's been actually, he's been guiding us, giving suggestions how to go about. He said, Manju, एक बारी तुम ये शुरू करवा दोगी और निशा भारव का support रहेगा, तो ये lecture, as he said, lecture चलता ही जाएगा. So I'm really grateful to Nisha and Arun in organizing this. We have no words actually to thank them. And we are thankful to Chief Postmaster General Shri V.K. Gupta and Ms. Radhika Dheer, Director Postal Services Punjab Circle. Due to some commitments, they have not been able to come here. So like Radhika, I think she is an alumni of this college, and she also took great interest because there was some last minute hitches, but then she made it a point that the stamp will be released today. So everything was done by yesterday, everything got completed, and Nisha Bhargav, she got all the albums and envelopes and everything first day covered. So she made sure that it is released today. It was very nice to hear a very nice lecture from Renu Vig, the first VC, woman VC of Punjab University. Let's give an applause to her. Like, she is one of us, right? Woman power. And we are. And so nice that Shri H.R. Gandhar could be here, the Honorable Vice President of DAV College Committee, and he could be here, and he delivered such a nice, he's really given a beautiful tribute to my mother, because they have been kind of colleagues for so long. I used to meet him sometimes, but it was really nice to meet him today once again. And Justice Pritam Palji, it's really nice that you took out some time and you came here. I'm actually overwhelmed by seeing so many familiar faces here. Those who worked with my mother, some of them are here. Like, of course, I call them Didi, but Sneh Mahajan, and Usha Didi, and Anusuya, and Madhu Nagpal, then Prabhu Jyoti, Shashi Nanda, and some others were supposed to come, but somehow due to some reasons or the other, they have not been able to come. And like some of them, those who are, I am remembering, जो sports को जिन्होंने ऊंचा लाए शुरू किया, बलविंदर सहोता, like वो टीम में जान भर देती थी और पूरी अपनी जान टीम में लगा देती थी. यू नो, क्योंकि जब मैं यहाँ आती थी ग्राउंड में, मम्मी के पास रहती थी इन दैट गेस्ट हाउस विच निशा भार्गव हैज वेरी ब्यूटिफुली कन्वर्टेड इनटू गेस्ट हाउस, दैट यूज्ड टू बी द रेजिडेंस ऑफ मिसेस रॉय. एंड लाइक जब हम वहाँ मैचेस देखते थे ना बाहर बैठ के, तो इतना जोश दिलवाती थी वो टीम्स को. और अभी जब हम नाडा साहब से गुजर रहे थे तो मुझे याद आ रहा था कि जब भी वो उनको मैच होता था फाइनल्स, देन वो मांगती थी कि गुरुजी जिता दो हमारे को. एंड यू नो फिर टीम पूरी को नाडा साहब लेके जाती थी. शी वाज रियली अ डूअर एंड बिलीवर इन हर टीम. और एक है मिसेस चीमा, शी इज इन कैनेडा. To be first, उसमें were kind of few. All these are founder members, and I just wanted them to be here. You know, like I wanted to share this occasion with them. So वो भी Canada में है, and on every birthday of my mother on 12th April, her date is 12th April, as you must have seen. But due to commitments of our chief guest and other things, like so many commitments, the college doing so many events, so the date was available, 28th. So we thought it was great because it is a centenary year for us. So, you know, Mrs. एक Balwinder Sahota, and then there is one Santosh Bhamra who was the first librarian, I think. He was the first librarian of this college. The library was, I think, started शायद इतना सा रूम था, वो हॉल भी नहीं कहूँगी, रूम ही था, शेड में, साइकिल शेड में. सो लाइक, और अब आप लोगों की लाइब्रेरी निशा, आई मीन इट्स रियली वंडरफुल. आप लकी हैं, ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स हु आर सिटिंग हियर, यू आर लकी. So many facilities are being given by your college, by your principal, and you can learn so much. So, एक आज ही मेरे को एक मैसेज आया था. आई थिंक चंदर किरण, आपके वो भी शुरू के मेंबर थी, तो वो शी वॉज सपोज टू कम, बट बिकॉज शी इज गॉट वायरल, सो शी इज नॉट बीइंग एबल टू कम. शी डिडंट वांट टू पास germs to all of us. So like she just written, she was the mother to many of us. In fact, we were so raw and inexperienced. She groomed us good and proper. We were all imbued in DAV culture. We are indebted to her in more than one way. Once again, myself, my brother Pradeep Roy, and my husband Major General P.K. Gusain, we thank you all for being here with us to celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your appreciation, support and continuous association with the institution and all of us. And thank you for acquainting the younger generations with the glorious past of the college. We are now towards the last segment of the event, this beautiful and glorious event. The great legacy initiated by Mrs. Roy continues and gets better every year when our alumni enter diverse fields and make a mark for themselves and their families. These empowered women carry forward the glorious beginnings made under the dynamic leadership of Mrs. Roy and become role models for the generations who enter the portals of the college after them. We present before you a short video of few of our gems who have made their alma mater proud.
है वो, जो स्वयं ही शक्ति स्रोत रही, आखिर कैसे कमजोर है वो।
उसे अपनी ताकत पता नहीं, पुरुष को महान बना डाला, पुरुष को महान बना डाला। उसे अपनी ताकत पता नहीं, पुरुष को महान बना डाला। उसके मन की कोमलता ने, उसके मन की कोमलता ने नर को भगवान बना डाला। कहती है नया जमाना है, कहती है नया जमाना है। नारी को सशक्त बनाना है, नारी को सशक्त बनाना है, बनाना है, बनाना है।
स्वयं अपनी शक्ति भूल गई, अब अपना अस्तित्व पूछती है। कस्तूरी मृग सी भटक रही, क्यों अपनी खुशबू ढूंढती है।
सदियों से इतनी दबी रही, उठ जा नारी अब जाग जरा, उठ जा नारी अब जाग जरा। सदियों से इतनी दबी रही, उठ जा नारी अब जाग जरा। तेरी शक्ति तेरे भीतर है, तेरी शक्ति तेरे भीतर है, अपनी ताकत पहचान जरा। कहती है नया जमाना है, कहती है नया जमाना है। नारी को सशक्त बनाना है, 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 बनाना है,
With these glimpses of our outstanding achievers, woven in a beautiful composition by our music department, we reach the culmination of today's program. And I would like to propose a formal vote of thanks on behalf of the principal, faculty, and students of this college. I extend my gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Renu Vig, for sparing her valuable time to deliver a highly erudite and informative lecture. My special thanks to Professor Arun Kumar Grover for adding grace to the event with his presence. I extend my sincere gratitude to Mrs. Manju Gosai and her entire family for their gracious presence and generous contribution to the college. Very special thanks are due to Mr. Harjinder Singh Bhatti from the Department of Post Chandigarh Division for facilitating the release of the first day cover in the memory of Madam Roy. My sincere gratitude to all the respected members of the DAV Managing Committee, Justice Preetam Palji and Shri H.R. Gandharji, Madam Sneh Mahajan, and other distinguished guests, along with our respected seniors, for gracing this very special event with their presence. I would be failing in my duty if I do not thank my dear colleagues, both on and off the stage, Mr. Ashish and the technical staff for their zealous contribution in the organization of this event. Last but not the least, my gratitude to our students for being such an attentive and disciplined audience. Before I conclude, I would like to recite a few lines penned by Madam Roy at the young age of 17. But her words enshrine the indomitable enthusiasm and positivity that guided her throughout the life and will surely inspire us all. And I quote, आशा का दीपक ना बुझाओ, लहरें उठी हों सागर में, बादल छाए हों अंबर में, आंधी चलती हो अंबर में, पर तुम नौका खेते जाओ, आशा का दीपक ना बुझाओ. May our institution continue to rise and shine with the blessings of Mrs. Roy. And in the end, before I invite all our distinguished guests to stay back for lunch with us, I would request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem. Thank you.
विमाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जननी तरंगा। तब शुभ नामे जागे, तब शुभ आशीष मांगे, गावे तब जय गाथा। जन गण मंगल